Whether you know her from Trainwreck, her hit show on Comedy Central, or from her stint on Last Comic Standing, you know that Hollywood's newest it girl, Amy Schumer, is hilarious. Amy has been around for a hot minute, but now that she's rolling with the big dogs, we are bringing you a rundown of some little-known facts about Amy Schumer right here on Listed. When we talk about you on Listed, you know you've made it. You heard it right in that intro. Many people don't know that Amy actually got her start on Last Comic Standing way back in the day and has actually been in the comedy game for 11 years.
But we take care of ourselves. Like, look at all the gorgeous girls here. Look at you guys, right? We do so much. Do you guys remember? Like, do you remember bread? Do you remember bread?
Amy finished in 4th in the competition, which doesn't mean anything now that Amy has become a huge success. But before she became the success that she is today, Amy roughed it like the rest of us as a shampoo girl and pedicab driver.
I was a shampoo girl and I sucked. And also I was a pedicab driver. Girl? You wash people's hair in a salon. And I was a pedicab driver, and I would wait at the top of State Street in Santa Barbara and hope people would go down, but I would never work that way. And it was like big dudes would be like, "We're going up the hill," and I would get like,
"Come
here,
on, little lady,"
and then I'd be like, "Everybody out," because I could feel I was about to fall back down.
Everyone has to start somewhere, right? Well, it builds character, and if we rewind back even further to Amy's childhood years, you'd see that she's always had an itch for performing and got her stage legs when she was just 5 years old in The Sound of Music.
I did a production of Sound of Music when I was 5, and
what part were you?
Gretel.
Adorable. But in the land of reality, we all know that Amy is no stranger to life struggles, and the struggle started early on when her 2 front teeth didn't fall out until she was in the 5th grade.
My 2 front teeth didn't fall out until I was in 5th grade. And this was cool, because then at the same time, I got my period. So, yes. So I was just like this jack-o'-lantern with tits. While I was just kind of like...
Eek. Toothless and puberty. That's rough. The world is not a fair place, but the good news is that high school went really well for Amy, and not only was she the captain of the volleyball team and very popular, but she's still, to this day, really good friends with her friends from high school.
You're still super good friends with your high school friends.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is
girls.
you guys at the premiere.
That's 2 nights ago. Yeah, we
That's
do a human
fantastic.
pyramid.
So you did a human pyramid.
How awesome is that? And while we're on the subject of Amy in high school, you can guess which 2 subjects she did really well in.
I was really good at English and history and everything other than math and science.
Math and science.
History's a pretty nifty subject to be good at, and out of all the notable and interesting people in history, who do you think Amy said she'd want to make out with?
Christian Bale and Newsies.
The girl has a thing for Newsies.
I, for some reason, cannot do an interview without mentioning Newsies. I don't know what it is.
But unfortunately, she never got to fulfill her dream of making out with Newsies Christian Bale, and instead, she's had some pretty rough run-ins with the guys. Her worst date, to be exact, was when the dude thought Mark Twain was a fictional character.
I went out with a guy, and he was like asking me date questions, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, if you could have lunch with anyone living or dead, who would it be? Oh, and I said, Mark Twain. And he said, no, it has to be somebody real. I think he thought I meant Tom Sawyer, but then, and then I had sex with him.
And if you think that's rough, wait until you hear this dating horror story.
I've had guys that were like in the first week, like my mom is coming in for lunch today. Yeah, and I'm like, no. I don't ever want to meet your mom, you know?
Unless you're comfortable enough for your significant other to see you without makeup on, don't introduce your bae to your mom. Just don't do it. It's too soon. And while we're considering alternative options, you can tell a lot about a person by their answers in a game of Would You Rather. Exhibit A.
Eat poop-flavored chocolate or chocolate-flavored poop.
You gotta go poop-flavored chocolate so that you're not eating human, right?
And the choices can get really tricky when you factor in body parts.
Would you rather have no nipples or have no eyebrows?
No nipples. Nipples are a pain anyway.
Have you ever wondered why we even have eyebrows? Like, I get that it has something to do with the sun and like maybe Australopithecus has had them and now we haven't developed, but it's just like 2 slabs of hair just chilling on your forehead. People are weird. Like people who don't take baths, for example. Many don't factor in that when you get a job, not only do you have to have skills to do your job, but you also can't have the body funk of 40,000 years. Hence, the one and only time Amy had to fire someone.
We had to fire, the one guy we had to fire was a sound guy. Because he had that homeless, that sweat that you just,
hardworking man.
Has been baking in, yeah. And it was like, he's nice, he's good at miking people, but I think we have to fire him because he smells bad.
Social cues aren't always easy, and neither are social norms, which Amy has discovered through a number of experiences in her life, like when she texted Katie Couric's husband from Katie's phone asking for an unexpected favor.
And I look and she left her phone. She left her phone open to text from him. Oh. So, I know. So, don't worry, I didn't do anything. Except I picked it up and I just, without even thinking, text him, I want to have anal tonight. And I sent it. And I show Colbert and he is on the floor laughing, like on the floor. And then Katie comes back like 90 seconds later and her husband are like, so we're leaving. Like, I don't know why he wants to.
Sometimes you just should tell yourself no. Just listen to that little guy with the harp on your shoulder telling you not to do it. But moving on to a more serious note, Amy has said that Trainwreck is actually loosely based on her real life, specifically her life during her sophomore year of college.
In college, my sophomore year of college, that's kind of when I was hurting the most. And I had lost all my self-esteem. And the other girls in school were just way prettier than me, and the boys were more interested in that. You know, you don't have a conversation with anybody in college. You just get drunk and then you like wake up somewhere. It's heavily based on that version of me.
And it makes sense that Trainwreck hits close to home for Amy because she did write the movie, and if you've seen it, you know that her parents in the film get divorced and her father has MS, which are also based off of true life events, which goes to show that oftentimes the best creative material comes from real life. And in real life, Amy grew up in New York, which is also unfortunately the place where she bombed the worst during a comedy show in Central Park, in her hometown to be exact. As if it wasn't embarrassing enough already.
I was just a couple of years in and it was just too big of a venue. There's nothing louder than the sound of 5,000 people not laughing at you. And it's embarrassing because then you see the other comics backstage and it was just like, hey, and they don't look you in the eye. When you bomb other comics, even your friends don't really look you in the eye. It hurt, and it was in New York, my home city. It's not like I got to get on the plane and get the hell out of here. I had to walk out of Central Park and people were just like, hey.
But Amy has come a long way and is actually gearing up to be the opening act for one of the biggest pop stars of all time.
And you're opening for Madonna.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But not only that, it's at her request.
Yes.
Pretty exciting stuff. But not only is Amy a very talented comedian, she's also taken advantage of her newfound fame to speak up about issues concerning gun violence with help in large part to her cousin, Senator Chuck Schumer.
The critics scoff and say, well, there's no way to stop crazy people from doing crazy things, but they're wrong. There is a way to stop them. Preventing dangerous people from getting guns is very possible.
And if the coincidence between Amy and Senator Schumer came as a surprise to you, the random fact of the day is that Amy also has mutual friends with Kelly Ripa.
We have so many mutual friends in common, and this is our first time meeting.
It lets me know that you're a troublemaker.
Those creepy little puppets were right. It is a small world after all. And last but not least, maybe the most random of all, is that Amy loves herself some Bradley Cooper.
Whenever I see him, I've seen him in a couple things, I always harass him. I'm just like, Bradley! To make my sister laugh, I shout his name. And so I went over to him and I was just like, hey, sorry that I'm always shouting your name, and I talked about you on Letterman. And I tried to get out of there because I feel very uncomfortable talking to somebody that handsome. So anyway, I'm talking to Bradley, and he's really charismatic, and he stares in your eyes and asks you questions, which no man does. So I left the interaction, and I was kind of like, am I dating Bradley Cooper?
Who doesn't love Bradley Cooper? He's a beautiful man. Well, that's our list. Did you guys learn anything new about Amy Schumer? Are you a fan? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and then click right over here to check out 8 times Taylor Swift schooled you on Tumblr. Thanks for watching Clevver News. I'm Danielle Robay, and I'll see you next time on Listed. Click to the left to check out the best celeb twerkers on Debatable, or click to the right to check out Debatable's Getting Debatable about the 4 best celebrity couples.